Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the competition timeout. It is Monday. We're going to continue the previews. There'll be, it is Monday, but there'll be two episodes up. Friday's episode, something happened. We couldn't upload it. So you'll get two previews and we'll be done the NFC South and we can continue to the AFC South tomorrow. Um, but today we're going to finish up the South with the defending South champ is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Uh, it's a team that went 9-8, made the playoffs, won a game in the playoffs, and then lost in the divisional round to the Lions. When it comes to the team, same head coach, Todd Bowles is still there. The offensive coordinator, who was only there for last year, 1 year, Dave Canales, he went on to be hired as the Panthers coach. So, a new offensive coordinator, a guy named Liam Cohen, coming from he was the offensive coordinator at Kentucky before taking the job with the Buccaneers. Uh, don't know too much about. Well, I do. Uh, he was in 2022. He was the offensive coordinator for the Rams. So basically, he's under the McVay tree, I guess you could say. Of he's worked under McVay and those guys. He was an assistant wide receivers coach for the Rams from 2018 to 19, and in 2020 moved to assistant quarterbacks coach. Then he went to Kentucky for a year as an offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach. He went back to the Rams as an offensive coordinator. Then he went back to Kentucky. So 21, 22, 23, Kentucky, and now he's back to the NFL with the Buccaneers. Yeah. So it's been Cole's career. Anyway, he's the offensive coordinator. As far as the team goes, I mean, they had to let go of some people. The money was tight. So they did re-sign their vet, Levante David. Devin White had to walk. They let go of Shaq Barrett. Uh, so, big losses. They traded away Carlton Davis. So there's some movement here, but not too crazy, honestly. It's things that I feel like they needed to do, if we're being all honest about it. On offense, Baker comes back. They give him the contract. Mike Evans comes back. So they're running it back again with Baker for a couple more years. Running back Rashad White. We'll see if he can redo what he did last year. As he had a pretty good season rushing and receiving. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, the top two there. We'll see if somebody can step up to be number three. They did sign Sterling Shepard, time Giant. Uh, Trey Palmer, who's going into his second year. We'll see who can take out over that third spot for them. There. Tight end, they got Kate Otten, and we'll see if they get production out of there. Their line is okay. They did draft a center. They, they have the big man Tristan Wirf on one tackle. Got to figure out the other tackle. So the line is kind of a work in progress, honestly. Now that I'm looking at it, they did have to let go of some people that have been there for a while, but the line is a work in progress. Besides Tristan Wirfs, but we'll see what happens there. Defensive unit. At the line, they got Logan Hall, Kalijah Cansey, the DN Vita Vea, right in the middle. They play a 3-4 there. Got some other people, William Golston with the vet. So they do have some people there that can, kind of rotate, make it strong. But it is a 3-4. The big part is The outside linebackers, obviously, Yaya Diaby had a great rookie year. We'll see if he can bounce back. And outside, I think that's what helped when they were trying to, when they were deciding on Shaq Barrett. So Yaya Diaby's. You got Tryon Shoyinka, number 9, another edge rusher who's young and upcoming. Obviously, they kept Levante David inside. We'll see who pairs up with him in this 3-4. So I think pass rush, they're fine. Linebacker edge, they'll be fine. Uh, Defensive line, they're pretty okay. Uh, Defensive backfield, they still had Jamel Dean. They re-signed Antoine Winfield. They signed in free agency Jordan Whitehead. So they're okay. Zion McCullum looking to take a step up. He should be a starter. See, haven't checked in at camp to see what's going on. Um, so if I look at this team, honestly, they should be a decent team. Maybe same record as last year. Could take a step back and go 8-9 instead of 9-8, possibly. I do. Since we talked, the Falcons added a pass rusher, which was one of my question marks. They did trade from Matthew Judon. So that changes my outlook there about them. I do like what they did on offense that the Falcons did. So I think it's going to, it might be tighter than I thought in the NFC South. I don't think they're going to like beat each other up, but these teams are okay enough that everybody but the Panthers, honestly, but the other 3 teams offensively, you know, we might see with Tampa more of a Sean McVay type of offense. So that should create some things, and it should be fun to see, Mike and Chris Godwin in that type of offense. Uh, let's see. Let me go down the schedule. Washington, I think they should win that. At Detroit, they'll lose that. Denver, they should win that. Eagles, they'll lose that. Falcons could be up in the air, honestly. I Then at New Orleans, they're back to back. New Orleans and Falcons. They're gonna split one of those. Ravens, they'll lose. Atlanta, so in at home, they'll probably win that. Chiefs will lose. San Francisco will lose. Giants, they should win. They should beat the Panthers. They should beat the Raiders. Should beat the Chargers. I got them at 8 wins right now. Dallas, they'll probably lose. Carolina, they'll win 9. Yeah, 9-8. So they should be 9-8, just going off of the schedule. The Bucks, like I said, Falcons on offense, they look good. We'll see how fast they can gel that. The defense got a little better. I still think the defense is still an issue, but we'll see what Kirk and those guys can do. Um, I think it's gonna be a 3-team race. Saints, Falcons, and the Buccaneers. One of those teams will come out. Uh, I, you know, honestly, if I'm being completely honest, I am leaning towards the Buccaneers as much as I like what promise promise I see offensively from the Falcons. It's just their defense is still a question mark with the Buccaneers. At least you know that like not a lot of things change. Obviously, head coach, he's a defensive guy. Defense stayed the same. There's some question marks in the secondary, at least corner, outside of Jamel Dean. But the defense is pretty intact. The offense is intact too, but it's just a new system, and we'll see what comes of that, honestly. So that's where I think the question marks lie when it comes to the Buccaneers. But yeah, that's where we're at. But yeah, I think it's gonna come down to them and Saints and the Falcons, probably between them and the Saints, if we're being completely honest. And I think the Buccaneers, I have them 9-8. They should win the division again there. But yeah, that's what I see. But yeah, people, that was the Buccaneers. Uh, should be an interesting year for them. And tomorrow we'll start with the AFC South, and keep it going leading up to the season here on the Competition Timeout. Thank you for tuning in as always. Peace.